Hallo meine Freunde, mein Name ist Julia und willkommen zu Julia's Bento. Yeah, that was my German from many moons ago, and yeah, I've studied quite a lot of languages. Very little bit, but was really into languages back when I was much younger, let's just put it that way. Anyways, so what was this lovely thing that I was flashing before your eyes? It's called the Roterfaden Taschenbegleiter. And what does Roterfaden mean? It means red thread. Just thought I'd let you know. So what's so awesome about this? It's the pin system. I mean, I don't know if you've seen these before. I've been kind of looking at this on and off for about half a year now. It is a little bit of an investment, and you know, I obviously had all my Midoris going on, and I still love those, but sometimes I need a little more space, which I really came to enjoy when I did the A5 Hobonichi, and then when I went back to the A6 this year, I just felt like sometimes I just didn't have enough space. Anyways, back to this guy. I'm going to show you how cool this is. So how it works is much like the Midori, you split it in half, right? Split your notebook in half, and then you put the pins down on it. Simple, right? What's kind of really nice about this system is, let's say you're out and about, you're at school or you're shopping, whatever it is, and you have these like little loose leaf papers. You can just really just lift up the pin, stick it in, and you will not lose it. Awesome. The other thing that's kind of cool about that is, so like there's 3 pins on mine. You can get it with 2 pins, 3 pins, 4 pins, or no pins if you're going to use it a different way. But what's kind of nice is if your notebooks are really thin, you can double them up. So here I have a Flow Weekly, and then one of the company's notebooks. They're really thin. Let me show you real quick. In terms of the thickness, it is very comparable to the Midori notebooks. So if you're used to the Midori ones, here I'm going to take one out that I haven't used that much, so you can actually see the real thickness of it. So here's a Midori notebook, and here is the one from the Roterfaden company, and they're fairly similar in terms of thickness. When you purchase these, what's kind of nice is you get them in a pack like this of 3. And the ones that I decided to try out were the plain sketch one, and which has like a bit of a creamy color to it. And then also the gray dot one. It's also a creamy color. I don't know if you can see that. But what I really like about theirs is, it's a really light gray dot, which is preferable to the ones or the grids and the dots that you see out there sometimes that are really dark. And then it competes with whatever you're trying to write, which is not cool. Sorry. A little bit of a dry throat. Anyway, so these are fun. I haven't gotten to using them yet, but in terms of the texture, the dot one feels a lot like the Midori paper, the normal one that you get with your first Midori. And then the sketch paper is a little bit thicker. A little bit thicker, you can hear that. And a slight texture to it, but it's very smooth. So I'm curious to see what medium is going to work on this. So yeah, so I'm going to be playing around with this soon. In terms of what's inside of mine, like I said, I showed you the Orlikili notebook. The middle one is it's going to be the double entry with the weeklies with the Roterfaden sketch. And then the third one is, this is the one I was showing you a few days ago. This guy that I did a little bit of surgery on to put inside of here because I really wanted to use this guy. And I can show you guys on a later date how I did that, but it's really easy, and I'll go into that another time. But yeah, I decided to take some signatures out and stick it in here, and I really, really like it. The other thing is, I'm sure you're wondering, what is this thing? They have like plastic pockets A couple of different versions. I was only able to get this one, which is your plain plastic pocket, so you can stick anything in there. They have ones, I think, with the little credit card divisions and stuff like that. So this is how this one looks. So you can stick that in between a notebook, which worked out well for me since I did surgery on this one. It gives it a little cover to it, so to speak. So yeah, that's the little sketch paper that I put in here. So that'll be my little notebook in there. So that's how mine is laid out. Now, one of my friends, Courtney, over in Little Raven, she was looking for something to cover her moleskin hardcover. And she came upon this one website, and unfortunately, I don't know what that link was, but it was brilliant how they decided to put a hardcover in there. So I will demonstrate, and I'll also, again, have it broken down on the blog for you with images. But how he did it was, so you have your pins, right? And by the way, they do kind of shift in and out like this, which helps if you're going to do this. So you have this gap, right? Here, let me close up on it. So you have this gap here between the actual cover and the paper right here, right? So you basically stick the pin inside of that. I thought that was pretty cool. So I will do that for you so you can see. So yeah, you just slip it in there. And then you do the same thing for the other side. And the ideal thing is, of course, pull it out a bit, stick it in the gap, and slide it in. And boom, you now have your hardcover moleskin journal inside of here. And you still have some space here, which is nice. And I have, 2 other notebooks in here right now. So it's definitely, doable here. And I will close the little thing for you. So that's pretty brilliant. Because we were trying to figure out what would be the best way to put in a hardcover journal, if that's what you wanted to do with this. And will it lay flat? Yeah, sure, it'll lay flat. Oh, that's a terrible drawing. But anyways, it will lay flat. So yeah, this is my old journal, by the way. So yeah, you can do that with a moleskin if that is what you would like to do. The other thing is, oh, by the way, it does come all the way out if you want to only, maybe you think it feels too thick, and you can take out some of these pins. That's fine. They come in and out fairly easily. Just stuck that right back in pretty fast. The other thing I wanted to show you real quick is over here, a lot of the people, including myself, is not really enjoying the new paper that's in the newer moleskin. This is an older one, by the way, with the cream paper. But the Lectern is, from what I heard, a lot nicer in some aspects. So I might play around with that more too one of these days. But I thought I'd show you real quick the size difference in terms of, what A5 is compared to the typical moleskin that we get. So it's just a little bit of a difference. You get a little bit more of a width. So it looks more square in shape than it does our typical US moleskin notebook large. So there's that. So if you want to put this is also hardcover inside of there, that would work too. Same thing, I think. Let me see. Does it have a gap? It has a little bit of a gap. It might not work as well as, oh yeah, no, there's a gap. Let me try real quick just to see. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I'd want to do that. There's not as much of a gap here as there is in the moleskin when you open it up. So in terms of putting a hardcover notebook in there, yeah, as I'm looking at it right now, I'm sure it's doable. You could wedge a little bit of a space in between. Like on the bottom, I see more of a gap there. But on the top, not so much. So maybe you have to work it a little bit. Yeah. But since that's not my goal, I prefer the thinner notebooks now. Yeah, I know I made the fatty notebook when I first got the Moleskines, or not the Moleskines, sorry, the Midoris. Yeah, we all go through the fatty notebook stage. But then I started to not like it due to, your simple, like when you're trying to write and things like that, you have some problems juggling the notebooks inside. So that's why I have more Midori notebooks, right? Don't judge. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, this is really fun. I like the system so far. It does, as long as your notebooks open up flat, they will open up flat, which is really nice. And the size, A5 size, is manageable. You get a lot of space. Plus, it's, fairly small enough to carry around if you like, and it really depends on how thick you want to get it. When you do the research and you start looking around, if you start to get obsessive like I was, you'll start to notice some people really, really pack it up. So it's like, exploding like that. The other thing that is you might want to know in terms of how these are configured. So I bought mine from Baumkuchen, which is based in LA. And they have some pre-configured ones that they purchase. So I think I have the dark brown. They have a black and then a light brown. And usually I think that all the inside covers are gray, possibly. I have to look into that. But the one I have is gray with the red strap here and the red pen loop. So if you go to the Roterfaden site, you can configure it any way you would like to. They have several different kind of leather styles, colors. They have different colored felts. So if you're into the really bright, like neon green, fuchsia, orange, which is really fun, you could get it there. They also have different configurations in terms of the pockets. The one I have, or the one that Baumkuchen has, is the one for the mini iPads. So you could put a mini iPad in here, or a notebook, one of those notebooks that have the stitching on the top. Those kind of notebooks in here will work. And then the front flap has these pockets like this, so you could put like stickers or more note things, or stickers. You could put that in there. But on their site, I think they have 5 or 6 different configuration of pockets that you can do. The other thing you could choose, they have 3 different, things for straps. I think there's like a black with a gray stripe in the middle, a black, and then this. There might be more, I'm not sure. But you can play around with the configurator. I ended up doing that, going back and vacillating back and forth whether I'm going to purchase it from them or from Baumkuchen. But I started to really like the color choices that they had. It's very sophisticated with the gray and the red. So I decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and go buy it from the US because it's also more accessible and it'll come fairly quick. So yeah, that's where I purchased mine. But if you go to their site, they have you can really personalize it. You can even put your name inside, like this flap. They'll embroider it in or something like that. So you could do that. So there's more options in terms of the configuration, but you'll have to look into the VAT charges and the delivery, things like that. What'll happen in your particular country. Probably more accessible, obviously, in Europe, I'm guessing. But that being said, there is my new notebook system that you'll be seeing a little bit more of, and I thought I'd share it with you. So thanks for stopping by and listening to my broken up German. Alrighty, take care and have a great day. Bye!